Derrick Henry still going. He might go 99 yards for the touchdown. Unbelievable.
Flushed out again all the way back. Turning the corner. Fires downfield. Caught. Touchdown. Only Mahomes turns what might have been a 15-yard sack into a 27-yard touchdown.
Saquon Barkley across midfield, down the sideline, staying in bounds, and Barkley takes it all the way. 68 yards for his first NFL touchdown. McCaffrey right up the middle, and he is gone for the touchdown. 58 yards. Pass is to Thomas. He's gone. Touchdown Saints.
Okay, it's time for the easiest part of any coach's job, the cut. Now, while I wasn't able to cut everyone I wanted to, I have cut a lot of you. Steven, I like your hustle. That's why it was so hard to cut you. Congratulations, the rest of you made the team. Except you and you.
God bless fantasy football. There are many things a man can do with his time. And this, better than those things.
Fantasy Football Goon on the Barroom Network. Got Tooch, Zim, Papa Bear over there, Adam Shum, Steven Zimmerman, and myself, Tooch here. Let's roll with some Week 7 starts and sits and taking all questions. Where's that ticker?
Good morning, fellas.
Oh, good morning. Good morning, fellas. Let's roll with a little QB. Oh, Joe's on vacation. Just if everyone's looking for Joe. The Goon. If everyone's looking for the Goon, he's on vacation. Business first. Welcome to the Barroom Network, where Adam's QB starts. I see a lot of familiar ones on here from me, too. But go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, man, this time of the year, they're kind of getting repetitive sometimes. It's kind of the same guys with good matchups over and over. And, plus the bye weeks are happening. So, but yeah, Baker Mayfield, man, today he's been on fire.
Weeks. Got Baker versus the Ravens.
Yeah, he's been on fire, and the Ravens, you can't run on them. They're like the second best run defense behind the Chiefs, I think. And so you got to throw the ball, and they haven't really been able to stop that. So Baker Mayfield should be on track for another big game today. Hopefully Mike Evans can bounce back too. And then Kirk Cousins versus Seahawks. I'm hoping that's going to be one of the high-scoring games of the day, kind of back and forth. You look for those guys, Geno and Kirk can both throw it 50 times for 400 yards if they need to. So you just look for a lot of volume in that game from both quarterbacks. And I'll take Brock Purdy for kind of the same reasons as Baker Mayfield. You're not going to be able to run against the Chiefs at all. 49ers are not going to be able to do that. I think Jordan Mason's a sit today. So Purdy's going to have to throw the ball. We know he's got all his weapons. I'm looking for Ayuk to bounce back today in that game.
Adam, go ahead. Quarterback stats.
Zim.
That's me.
Oh, sorry, Zim. What am I doing here?
Well, yeah, for a lot of the same reasons that Adam picks Kirk Cousins, I'm going with Geno Smith. Geno Smith has quietly been a very, very good fantasy option this season. And DK is really close to helping him out quite a bit. So if DK can start completing these touchdowns, and it is a little touchdown dependent there, but if this turns into the high scoring game that Adam and I think it will, both quarterbacks are going to be good fantasy options this week. Also got Josh Allen versus the Titans. Josh Allen has just been great this year. He's got a new weapon to play with. So he and my next pick, Aaron Rodgers, I'm going with both of these guys more than anything because they've got these new toys to play with. They've got these new weapons in their arsenal, and they're going to be volume based more than anything. I think they're really going to be trying to work these guys into the offense. They're going to end up throwing the ball 35 plus times. And I say it again, volume based. It's all volume is why I'm picking these two guys today.
Yeah, definite volume here. Get my quarterback starts there. If I could find my damn cursor. All right. I got Goff versus the Vikings. Vikings are a pass funnel. I know everyone likes to say that they have this great defense, and they do. Jared Goff has been so efficient, man. He's got like 7 touchdowns in his last 2-3 games, and then
and like 5 incompletions.
a lot of targets to throw to.
He's your number 1 fantasy quarterback on the season, and he's already had a bye week.
Yeah,
the dude's putting up numbers.
The Vikings very good run defense. Everyone throws on them. And then I've got Baker Mayfield versus the Ravens. It's the same thing. You can't run on the Ravens either. Everyone throws on them. And, that's the highest total on the board, Buccaneers and Ravens. So
is it late afternoon game? Oh, no, or it's Monday, isn't it?
Tomorrow. Yep, Monday night.
Game.
Yep. And then I got Gino, who he like him or not, he puts up a lot of passing attempts.
Yeah.
So, and not only that, but he's been doing it with his legs. He's averaged like 38 yards rushing the past 3 games. So, like Gino today, I know Zim, you also have Gino, and then Adam, you had Brock Purdy instead. But Purdy's so underrated.
Yeah,
he's just so underrated.
It's kind of like Jordan Love with Purdy. They just get it done easily. It's like it's not very flashy or anything. Like it's going to be 2 or 3 5-yard touchdown passes, but it adds up for fantasy real fast.
Yep. All right, let's head to some running back starts.
Well, so let me ask you guys a start sit that I've got then. This is not barroom league, so this is not collusion.
Collusion.
But I have Cousins and Purdy in one league, and I'm not really sure who to go with this week. I'm leaning Cousins right now, but I don't know.
I would lean Cousins as well because I like the under in that Chiefs 49ers game. And I like there's a high total in Falcons Seahawks. It's one of the highest totals on the board. So I would go Cousins there.
Yeah. No, I love it. Awesome.
I probably would too, because I would think that there's a better chance of that Niners game being low scoring than there is the
exactly.
That's totally fair. Yeah.
Yep. All right, Adam. Running backs. You got Kyron Williams versus the Raiders, who's pretty much a lock to score a touchdown almost every week.
Yeah, exactly. I know he's one of the top running backs, but man, it's a great matchup. They're coming back out of this. Still no Cooper Kupp. Kyron Williams pretty much guaranteed to get in the end zone here, and he gets more usage than anybody in the league basically. So fire him up right out of the bye week. He should be good to go. And then
I'm glad you mentioned that the Rams wide receivers. Can we take a moment just to talk about they're banged up. Like there's no Puka.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp likely not playing. We're pretty much official on that. I don't think he's playing today. And then Jordan Whittington also questionable for today. They just have Tutu Atwell and Demarcus Robinson today?
Mm-hmm.
Colby Parkinson.
I could name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't even know if Puka's going to play this year. Even I'm not even sure on that one. And Kupp, I expect Kupp will probably be back next week. They said he looked good on Monday in a workout and stuff, and I think they're probably just taking it easy with him one more week. But
Hunter Henry, 92
right
receiving,
now, for sure.
8 catches, 92 yards receiving for Hunter Henry today. He's on my bench in one league. I don't know where.
Oh, wow, he's got 8 for 92. Yeah,
a young quarterback's best friend is the tight end.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 25-10 Jaguars lead. 8 minutes left in the game.
Patriots driving.
Yep, Patriots are driving. Let's hope for some garbage time. Drake May, but
Drake May drops a dime.
Whew. I like the kid. I think he's got a chance to do something with the right coach. I'm not sure the Patriots have the coaches in place anymore. If they would have Belichick and Josh McDaniels, I would have said the kid's got a real bright future.
Right.
But
he's got some talent, that's for sure.
Yeah, he does. Brian Robinson versus the Panthers. I love this start. I wasn't sure if he was going to play, though, Adam.
Yeah, he was a little questionable, but I think he's good to go, they're saying. And again, he's one of these guys that seems to get in the end zone almost every week, or there's a very high chance of it. He gets a lot of volume in that offense. I think that could be I expect that to be a really competitive game today between the Panthers and the Commanders. Actually, probably a pretty fun game for a Panthers game, So, look for Brian Robinson do his usual thing, 15-plus carries, get in the end zone. And I like Tony Pollard versus the Bills. Tajay Spears is out. I think it sounds like Will Levis is going to be out as well, which kind of sucks because I was using the Bills defense against Will Levis, and I don't even know who their backup is. Does anybody know?
Versus Will Levis.
Tennessee's
I don't,
back.
man.
Will Levis is back up.
Is it it's no, Mariota's on the Saints.
Point is, we're gonna need Tony Pollard, I think.
I have no idea who the
Yeah.
backup is to Will Levis.
I have no
It
clue
is
either.
someone.
Let me
that's
get that
sure.
for you. Let me get.
I was
that
trying
for
to think right before we started, and I was like, I'm not sure who that means is going to play if Will Levis is out. But I mean, they're saying he's still questionable.
I
but
think
it's like
it's Tannehill.
Mason
Tannehill's
Rudolph.
not on a team.
It's Mason
No?
Rudolph.
Okay. It's Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph. Yep.
Oh,
And
Rudolph's there.
Rudolph is starting today.
Oh, well, I mean, that's better than Levis. Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I still think they're going to need to rely on Tony Pollard in this game versus the Bills. And Tony Pollard's been quietly very good this season. Just on such a bad offense, you just don't hear about it. But he gets all the work, and the Bills' defense is good but not great. So I think he can get plenty done for you out of maybe a flex position. Don't expect a huge game, but a very solid flex play, I think.
All right, let's go with Zim's running back starts here.
Yep. Chuba Hubbard and Brian Robinson, both in the same game, playing against each other. I think, honestly, that this could be a weirdly high-scoring game. I think it has a chance to really kind of get out of control here or there. And I don't know. I think the Commanders could get caught in a look-ahead situation, fall into a little bit of a trap game here. I'm not saying necessarily that they'll lose, but I think they're going to struggle more than a lot of people expect against the Carolina Panthers. I could be totally wrong, but at the very least, Chuba Hubbard has put up numbers every week, regardless of who. Every week since Andy Dalton has been starting, I should say, regardless of who he's been playing against, the dude can just play. That's all there is to it.
Good.
And Brian Robinson, I think we already went over that one quite a bit, so I don't need to harp on it anymore. Last, I got Joe Mixon versus
Chuba Hubbard is like challenging NCAA records when he was here at Oklahoma State. I mean, he was fantastic. I mean, he's a great player.
Yeah,
I don't know how he went so under the radar, but seeing what he does out in Carolina, it kind of makes you understand why they were so comfortable getting rid of Christian McCaffrey, because they weren't good enough to justify keeping a guy like McCaffrey around. But Hubbard is still a top 10, 8 back in the league.
Down back. He's a 3-down player.
Right. So I totally get it all. Lastly, I got Joe Mixon versus the Packers. I think that the Texans offense is going to hum against the Packers today. I know that the Packers are really good at taking the ball away. They're really good at limiting points by their opponents, but not as good as some other teams that the Texans have already beat. So, I think that the Texans are going to take care of the ball. They're going to do a good job there. They're going to control the clock. And that's where Joe Mixon comes into play a lot, right? When you want to control the clock, when you want to protect the ball, you trust your running back. And Joe Mixon is that guy.
Yeah, I like it. I love the over in that game. I think we had a lot of points in it. The Texans' defense is really banged up.
It definitely is. And again, that leads to wanting to control the ball. It leads to giving the ball to your running back. A good running back is a bad defense's best friend, man.
Yep, I love Mixon. I have Chase Brown versus Browns. So he's going against his namesake in that game. He's very quietly been the number 4 overall running back the past couple weeks. I think he's starting to take that role away from Zach Moss.
He looks so much better.
More explosive.
Yeah,
it's so different from the first 2 weeks of the season too. Like the first couple weeks of the season, it was like, all right, I guess they're going to ride with Moss. Like, I don't know why they paid Brown. What are they doing here? And then slowly, Brown has forced the issue. He's really starting to come into his own, really being the guy that they extended. So
I got JK versus the Cardinals. Cardinals, they're giving up their fair share of points to the running back.
I love Dobbins today too.
Harbaugh loves to run the ball. And then the Bills are the second worst team. They give up the second most, about 29 points, fantasy points per game to the running back position. So I love Pollard today. I love his over prop to rushing. So we got running backs in the bag here. Let's see. We got some Focheesy in the bar room in the chat room. All right, ready to talk some tight ends with Adam?
I'll take Zach Ertz. That's not versus the Chargers, is it? Isn't that versus the Panthers?
I'm sorry.
Commanders, Panthers, is that right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. Commanders, Panthers game. Hopefully, like we talked about, I think that goes back and forth. And Zach Ertz, man, he's getting as many targets as any tight end right now. They're not real far down the field, super valuable, but in PPR leagues, every one of them counts as a catch, and he gets plenty of those each game. He's a solid 10 points every week. So it's a good matchup for him. Expect that to keep going. And David Njoku looked pretty good last week. He's been slowly coming off this injury. I think he's going to have a great second half of the season here, regardless if it's Deshaun Watson or Jameis Winston at quarterback. I think Njoku is going to be the main guy there, especially with Amari Cooper getting traded away. Njoku is basically their guy now. I mean,
yeah,
it's him and Judy out there, and
yeah, it's going to be all Nick Chubb and David Njoku. I think Chubb will take a week or two, but they're going to have to just give it to him. And Ford's hurt now, so it just all leads to targets for Njoku, I think, and he's a stud athlete out there.
Yep.
And then Kyle Pitts, man, slowly trending up every week. The more Cousins throws the ball, the more Kyle Pitts sees the ball. It's the first time he's finally had a quarterback that will throw him the ball to anybody that's open. And they've just been so bad during Kyle Pitts' career. He's finally got the exposure he needs. And this game, we all three expect to go back and forth a lot, I think. And Kyle Pitts should see 8 targets at least, I think. So, and they're valuable targets with Kirk Cousins. They're down the field. They're in the end zone.
That's it.
Yeah, they're not just at the.
They're high quality targets. They're not just these 5-yard sticks or anything. Yeah,
they're not screens where he's getting tackled the second he catches the ball. So that's the deal. Yeah, Kyle Pitts, good game today, I think.
Yeah, remember it took a couple weeks for Kirk Cousins to get ramped up after his injury. And now you're finally seeing the results of him getting back up to speed.
Yeah, this Atlanta offense is looking a lot like what Joe predicted before the season started. Kyle Pitts, number 1 on my tight end starts as well. I was wrong. I'll fully admit it. I was wrong. I told you all before the season started, we know who Kyle Pitts is. He's going to let us all down again. And now he is a top 10 fantasy tight end. And he is going to have plenty of opportunities today against the Seahawks. We've talked at length about that game already. So I'll move on to Dalton Kincaid versus the Titans. The Titans, I've got this game on here a lot, favoring the Bills because, they're just not a great team. They're really not. The wheels have all but fallen off out there in Tennessee, and they're one of those teams where you can see them go on the field every week, and they don't believe it right now. They don't feel it right now, and maybe that changes for them, but we've watched our fair share of bad teams in the NFC North who don't feel it, but they still go out there and play their hearts out every week. So I think Kincaid is going to have a lot of opportunity against that defense, especially across the middle. Just the main reason I was leaning towards that is because with Amari Cooper now out there, I think he's going to get some attention, right? He's going to start opening things up in the middle of the field that wasn't there before. And Allen's familiarity with Kincaid is going to allow him to find him over the middle while he's still feeling out a lot of the new adjustment period stuff with Amari Cooper. Lastly, I got Cade Otton versus the Ravens. As we talked about, Baker's been slinging it, man. And I don't know what it is, but the Ravens are like cheating towards the run or something because their linebackers lately, they seem a step slow in coverage. And I think that opens up the middle a lot for these tight ends against the Ravens. I don't know exactly how they do against scoring wise against tight ends, but I do see a lot of tight ends getting some play against the Ravens because that's where the availability is to gain yardage against that defense right now. They're pretty good defense, but that's the spot in the field that seems to be the weak point right now. And I think that a good player like Otton with a good quarterback like Baker are going to take advantage of that today.
He's really underrated out, and I hope Kincaid I mean, the Titans have been the number one team versus the tight ends, allowing only 3.8 fantasy points per game to the tight end. But with Cooper there, I kind of like the call.
Well, that's just it. It's not the most well-researched, I guess, take that I've got, but you guys know me. I play off of guts. I play off of what I see and how it feels going week to week. And this season, it's not going so great for me. but in years past, I've won championships with it. So, sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. And it goes for analytics or guts,
All right, my tight ends. I got Trey McBride. Marvin Harrison Jr. is out. This is going to be the number one receiver.
I thought he was cleared to play.
Was he?
I thought so. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think he's out. But
we'll have inactives here in the next few minutes for sure.
We'll get that. In any case, he's been a target machine, getting close to double digits the past 3 games. And then I've got Njoku with Amari Cooper gone. I mean, Njoku automatically becomes the number 1 receiver as well. And then Brock Bowers is I will not be surprised if he's the number 1 overall receiver today. Also like Kelsey, but I didn't give out those guys like Kittle and Kelsey and so. I mean, if you don't have George Kittle in your lineup today versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs are the worst team against the tight end. So if you don't have
Sleeper says Marvin Harrison Jr. will play Monday night.
Marvin Harrison Jr. will play. All right, I still like McBride. I'll take him anyways.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But the Chargers fairly
like
middle
McBride
of the pack.
more with Harrison.
All right, Chargers middle of the pack versus the tight end. But let's get to Adam's wide receiver starts. We haven't gotten many questions. I mean, Joe's the big draw, I guess, huh, Adam?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. If Joe's not on the show, people are probably watching Joe's.
People will see Joe's pretty face every week.
Yeah.
Anyway, same game we've talked about. Drake London, Kirk Cousins is going to be throwing it. Drake London's the main guy, and man, he's really starting to break out here the last few weeks. It looks like he just gets better and better. Looking like the player they hoped he was when they drafted him, but they only had Desmond Ridder trying to get him the ball. So it's the same deal with Pitts. It's just the same thing with London and Pitts. They're looking like the guys they should now that they got a quarterback. Yeah. And then Deontay Johnson, I've been loving him lately since Andy Dalton's taken over, kind of like the deal with Chuba. And we expect this game to be fairly exciting. Deontay Johnson's king of getting targets. So he was questionable coming into it, but it sounds like he's going to play. So I'm firing him up. I like him and Dalton this week in that game. And then T. Higgins, man, he's been really good since he finally getting on the field here after his little hamstring injury or whatever it was. Burrow's been on fire since he's got Higgins and Chase out there. The Browns defense has been very disappointing so far. So I think the Bengals are going to just kill the Browns today. Give me T. Higgins for 1 touchdown, maybe 2.
Love it.
All right. I love T. I don't know. T has been just as good, if not better, than Jamar Chase since he came back.
He's one of those guys. If he's healthy, he's just tremendous player, man. It's just he always misses games. Kind of like Kenneth Walker we were talking about before the show. So good, but always misses the damn games. Like
that's it. That's it.
Yeah, it's like
big targets. All right, Zim, tell us about the wide receivers.
All right, well, I got Stephon Diggs versus the Packers. I know I talked more about running backs in this game, but I mean, CJ Stroud's still there. He's going to throw that ball, and he's going to take care of it. And Jair Alexander's been on the injury report all week. Even if he thinks he can keep up with Diggs, I mean, Diggs will turn him around at least once or twice. So I just like Diggs for, I don't know, probably 5 catches and a touchdown at minimum, and that's 12 points in a PPR league, plus whatever yardage he gets on top of it. So to me, it's just like, he's a safety. Keep him in your lineup. Set it and forget it with Stephon Diggs this season. Lad McConkey versus the Cardinals. I think we've all got him. So kind of, just keep the highlight on him. He's going to be the dude today. And this is his time to step up and shine.
He's like their only pass catcher. I mean, they just run the ball and throw it to Lad McConkey.
Exactly. So if he's going to have, a breakout game, so to say, it's now. Even though he's kind of, steadily been a very good receiver all season long. I loved him coming out of the draft. The guy is such a crisp route runner. So
Justin Herbert's went from, 4,500 yard passer to Kyle Orton, basically. Like, I mean, it's insane.
That's it. Lastly, I got Zay Flowers versus the Buccaneers. Zay Flowers is that dude. I think that Baltimore has just gotten so unfair. You have to stop Derrick Henry in the backfield, and if you do, then Lamar's going to take off on you. And if he does stay back there and chuck it, Zay's going to be open downfield somewhere. It's the old Mahomes, screw it. Tyreek's open down there somewhere. That's what it's starting to look like with
Mark
Zay Flowers,
Andrews
man.
is starting to come alive too.
That's it. And that opens things up across the field for those guys. So yeah, Zay Flowers, I've always liked him since he was drafted. I don't know what it was. I remember his draft outfit and I saw it. I was like, this dude knows like what he's here to do. He had that attitude with the night he got drafted. I was like, this guy's going to be a baller. And sure enough, like here we are 3 years later, and he's really coming into his own as an elite receiver in the league.
Yeah, he's fantastic. The thing with Flowers is you just have to watch out for the game script and the matchups because they don't always need it. They don't need him. When they need him, he's there and he's available and he's going to make hella plays and look great. But just so often they don't need to throw the ball very much and they don't need a wide receiver down the field. It's just with Derrick Henry's just changed them so much. That's why Mark Andrews went down so far and Zay Flowers just had these up games and then almost disappearing games because they just, like you just said, it's like, is Derrick Henry going to run it? Nope, Lamar's going to run it. And you can't stop both of those guys every time.
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's like,
but where
you just got to be aware when it's going to be a more competitive game, Zay Flowers is going to be great.
And that's it. And that's why I like him this week is because this has an opportunity to be a pretty decently scoring game, 20s to 30s for both teams. And when that happens, Zay gets involved.
Yeah, I agree.
Dallas Goedert inactive for the Eagles. Jerome Ford inactive for the Browns. Trying to get over some of these other ones here. Robert Woods inactive for the Texans. Falcons inactives. Nobody of consequence. Seattle Seahawks. Don't see Kenneth Walker on there, but Tariq Woolen inactive for the Seahawks. He's probably their best cover corner. I know they have a rookie too, don't they? Didn't they draft another corner this year? I'd have to get that for you guys.
Remember.
Colts inactive, of course. Jonathan Taylor inactive. Everybody knows that. Let's see. Dolphins. Jeff Wilson Jr. inactive, running back for the Dolphins. Let me see. Bills. I don't see anybody of consequence for the Bills. The Titans. Tyjae Spears. Am I frozen?
You are.
No, you're good.
Was I frozen there for a second?
Spears is out for a while, isn't he? Isn't he out for a few weeks or something?
Will Levis inactive for the Titans. Tyjae Spears inactive. How long has Tyjae been out for, Adam?
I think he just got hurt last week or something, didn't he? Or maybe he's missed 1 week.
He's missed 1 week.
Okay, yeah, this is the second week.
Okay. Nobody of consequence. Aaron Jones active for the Vikings.
Tyjae Spears is one of those guys. Like I like him, and he's one of those guys coming into the season. Everybody wanted to grab him, but he's probably droppable if you need the spot at this point. Chiefs
wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster listed as questionable, is expected to play. Dante Johnson, we mentioned, expected to play versus the Commanders. And Jack, all of them are supposed to play. Pittman, Downs, and Pierce all expected to play. Commanders running back Brian Robinson, questionable. He will play. Cooper Kupp, unlikely to play. We went through that. Jordan Whittington, questionable for Sunday. Don't have anything listed for them. All right, that's about it. Let's head on to mine. I got the same Ladd and Zay, but I also got Terry McLaurin versus the Panthers. If you don't have, Terry's been awesome This is it, man. This is finally, you're like, we've been tantalized for the first few years of his career. And finally here he is, man, coming in hot. So
he's been great.
You gotta love his production so far this year, man. It's like, I don't remember what round he was drafted in most drafts, but I mean, what was it, third, maybe fourth?
I think in our league I got him even later than that.
Probably third or fourth round pick.
I think I would have gotten him in the fifth in our league, considering I drafted tight ends.
Might have gone fifth.
Rounds 2 through 4.
I think he was probably fifth or sixth.
Yeah,
fifth or sixth. Yep.
He's doing well for my team. He just needed to get away from Zim's management over there.
That's it, man. These guys, they leave my squad and they start going off, man. They just
I think he scored like 5 touchdowns in 3 weeks or 4 touchdowns.
2-minute warning, Patriots and Jaguars, 25-16 lead for the Jags. After the Bears decimated them in London, I really thought the Patriots had a chance. They got off to like a 10-0 start. It's been all Jaguars since then.
I got Terry in the 6th round, at the end of the 6th round, almost the 7th round. That's insane value.
Insane value. Yep. A lot of before we get to the defensive special team picks, a lot of the offenses that we expected to be, towards the top, like the Cowboys, I'm just going to use them as an example, haven't really panned out, this season. Trying to think of some other
Miami.
The Dolphins, exactly. Great.
That's
example.
A Tua thing, though, and this is where I'm sick of the is Tua elite conversations. Like, is Tua elite? Look at the Dolphins with him and look at the Dolphins without him. I think that right there tells you everything you need to know about Tua.
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah. The Chiefs, you could probably put in there, though they've been plagued by injuries, and the Bengals also. The Bengals have started to come alive once they found their running game. And then the Saints started off with a bang. We wouldn't expect much of them. Now they've come back down to earth. They're so banged up. But
Deion Sanders is ringing Jerry's phone off the hook right now. Like, you need to draft Shador and hire me. McCarthy needs to be fired. Me and Shador are coming next year, Jerry.
Yeah, man. Jerry's been really salty on X. If you haven't seen some of his tweets, or in interviews with the media,
something's got to change there. McCarthy's got to go.
He's brutal. He should have been gone a year ago.
That team has got way too much talent to be as bad as they look every week, and they seem to get worse.
And, I'm not sure they have that much talent.
Maybe not overall, but they have star players at like every level. They have Parsons, CD Lamb.
Yep.
I think Dak Prescott's a very good quarterback. He makes mistakes, but he's a very good quarterback. He's capable.
He needs an offensive line like every other quarterback, though.
They've lost Tyron Smith and stuff, and it's been downhill since he left.
It's absolutely fair.
Yep.
He was cornerstone for them.
Yep. All right, Adam, the defense special teams starts.
Steelers versus the Jets, man. I'm looking for TJ Watt to get after old Aaron Rodgers' weak-ass ankle today and just tear him up. I think we get a lot of sacks out of that one, I hope. Aaron Rodgers just isn't moving around good at all right now. So
I agree.
And the Steelers have been just so good on defense anyway.
Before you go on to Bills-Titans, Russell Wilson will be making his first starts. Any thoughts?
I think it's fucking crazy. Excuse my language. I think it's crazy that you would take a team that's winning games and just scored 32 points and, the quarterback's got 10 touchdowns to 1 interception and you're taking him out. Like, I know he's not setting the world on fire, but he's doing the job you need for the Steelers to win games. And, I don't know. I think it's crazy. Russell Wilson just doesn't. I think Fields can do everything Wilson does, but Wilson can't do everything Fields does at this point of their career. So
good point. What do you think, Zim?
Just seems bad.
Oh, I completely agree. I'll touch on it in a minute here.
All right, go ahead. Bills-Titans.
I wanted this one because I was expecting Will Levis to be playing, and he's good for like a pick six every week practically. So that's why I wanted the Bills on this one.
Yeah.
And, Mason Rudolph is more than capable himself, but
Will Levis, the worst,
likely, but,
worst fourth quarter quarterback in NFL history.
Levis or Rudolph?
Levis.
Oh yeah, I believe that. he's maybe the worst all 4 quarters quarterback in NFL history. And then I like the Eagles versus the Giants today. Same kind of reasons. Daniel Jones is always prone to make just a bonehead mistake that gets you an easy touchdown or something. And, the Giants they don't impress me a lot. Neighbors is back today, so he's going to throw it a lot. That just ups the chances for a pick six in my mind. So I'll take the Eagles. I know they haven't been great, but they always play well versus the Giants.
They'll bounce back, yeah.
Second and goal for the Jaguars on the New England 6. Jaguars about to put an exclamation point on this one. 25 carries, 114 yards, and a touchdown for Tank Bigsby.
On your bench.
Well, in Goon League, he's starting for me.
Well, that's the one that matters, to be honest. So,
yeah. I mean, if I would have known that Kenneth Walker, if I would have gotten the Kenneth Walker news a little earlier, Tank Bigsby would be in there, and I'd be able to figure out what to do with the rest of the slots. Because he'd be sitting in my top. I'd have the flex open.
That's it. These London games, man. Like, I love London games. Bullshit. For time, because I just love the
why do they got to start them? I'm not. Look, 8:30 is a little early. I mean, they could start it at 10. That's fine.
Yeah.
You're at least getting some injury news, ahead of time, at least for fantasy purposes. I mean, NFL doesn't really give a shit about fantasy, except in the background, the revenue that it generates.
Right.
Right. So we didn't pay them for the league we're talking about.
Yeah. It's like, as far as like the league having any kind of care or revolving around fantasy at all, it's like residual income.
Mm-hmm.
All right, got a question from Eric Alley. Wandale, Xavier Worthy, Amari Cooper. Who's okay? He must be an Amari Cooper. Pick 2.
Yeah, it looks like that was a typo.
I'm done with, I love Xavier Worthy today. Wandale's still good, but you've got Malik back, and then Amari Cooper in his first game with the Bills. How he can't be up to speed on the playbook yet. I would probably go Robinson and Worthy. Let me just check my stats here. Go ahead. What do you guys think?
I think I go Cooper and Worthy. And the only reason is I think Cooper's going to get force fed a little bit today. Could be wrong.
They desperately need him so bad.
That's it.
Yeah, they need him so bad.
And they're playing Tennessee.
Yeah.
So the Eagles give up 32.34 fantasy points per game versus wide receivers. So I'm leaning Wandale there. Let's see, Xavier Worthy. The 49ers are about middle of the pack against the wide receiver. And then giving up 26 fantasy points per game. And then Cooper's going against the Titans. The Titans are the second best against the wide receiver, giving up only 18 fantasy points. So for me, Wandale and Xavier Worthy. Adam?
Make compelling case for Wandale there, but I initially would be with Zim with Xavier Worthy and Amari Cooper. I just think Josh Allen is so desperate to have Amari Cooper. I think he's gonna be so excited to throw him the ball that it's gonna happen.
All right.
Even though I agree, he may not be up to speed, but he's a veteran wide receiver. He'll make some plays.
Yeah, I like Xavier. It's just and Juju Smith-Schuster's got a hamstring, so that puts Xavier Worthy up a little. So we'll go with
more necessary.
We'll go Amari and Xavier Worthy, but caveat on Amari Cooper. It's his first game. All right, from Caesar, PPR, Tutu Atwell or Tank Dell. I'm going Tank, man.
Tank Dell.
With no Nico, you got to go Tank.
Yeah.
I like the argument for Tutu, but the Raiders are only giving up 23 points per game to the wide receiver position, and then you've got the Packers who are giving up 28 points per game. So another lean towards Tank. The explosive ability with Tank, for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, and he and Stroud have natural chemistry together too. That we saw last week once Nico was out. They just picked up right where they left off. So.
I'm getting my coffee in today. All right, Zim's defensive starts. He also probably thought Will Levis was playing.
I do not care who's playing. Tennessee doesn't have a good offense. They've got Tony Pollard and question mark. That's the whole team on offense right now. So yeah, I like Bills versus Titans. I mean, not to mention Bills have a good front seven. Like, it's not top of the league in a lot of categories, but it is in some, and they are good at what they do. Their linebackers are very underrated around the league. So yeah, I like their
Find it fun
opportunities a
when you're.
lot.
I still find it fun to watch the Bills and all of a sudden be like, "Oh, hey, look, there's Von Miller. I forgot Von Miller's still out there."
It's crazy to me that he's still playing, man. He was drafted when I was in high school.
I know
Like-
he's just like disappeared completely, but he's still playing all the time.
Uh-huh. Oh man, yeah. And I got Jets
Yep.
versus Steelers. Russell Wilson might be starting this game. I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Fields finishes this game. I have zero faith in Russell Wilson right now. I don't think that
I
his
like that
calf
call.
injury was serious enough to actually hold him out. I think that he is genuinely struggling to learn the playbook out there. I think that he is it's part of what his demise was in Denver. It's part of what made him the guy that he was out in Seattle, but he was younger and more athletic then. Like,
I don't think the team's going to play as hard for him either. I don't think they will.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. George Pickens seemed almost like bummed that he was going to be the starting quarterback. So I don't know. It's something I've noticed for a long time with Russ, and I was a big fan of him as a rookie and through his young years in Seattle. I genuinely think that he struggles with the playbook. It's happened everywhere he's been, and now that he's older and not as athletic as he once was, it's starting to really show. And now he's on his third team in 4 years. He's not the guy he used to be. I think the Jets are going to have a field day against him. I think that Sauce Gardner is just going to be, I don't know, is Sauce even playing? I think he is. But I have no faith in the Russell Wilson led anything. He could be quarterbacking my son's flag football team, and I'd be like, all right, guys, let's run the ball today. Lastly, I got Rams versus Raiders. The Raiders are a mess. Devontae Adams is gone.
Jacoby Myers is out.
Jacoby Myers is out. Who are they throwing the ball to? Brock Bowers?
Yep.
That's only going to last for so long. It's only going to last for so long. And the Rams, I mean, they're not the defense they used to be. That's for sure. But they still have good players there. They still have hungry, opportunistic guys on that defense. We see it every week. Somebody steps up and makes some kind of play for the Rams, even if they're not playing well. So, yeah, Bills versus Titans, Jets versus Steelers, Rams versus Raiders. Those are my defensive starts for the day. And I don't think it's even close.
All right. I have the Commanders versus the Panthers. Kind of like the way the Commanders' defense has been playing. A bit opportunistic. The defensive line is still pretty good. And then, of course, it's the Panthers. But, I could be wrong here. Love the Chargers versus the Cardinals. Speaking of messes, the Cardinals, man. James Conner seems injured. And then they've struggled to get Trey Benson going. Marvin Harrison Jr. is coming back from injury. That Kyler Murray has not played up to expectations. And that Chargers defense has been really tough, man. And then I got Jets versus Steelers. Russell Wilson back in his first start in a while. He's going to make some mistakes. Jets defense has been really good this season. All right. We got sleepers. Yeah, Adam's got some sleepers going here.
I got Andy Dalton in that game we talked about just a moment ago again versus the Commanders. I agree. I do like the Commanders' defensive line and stuff, but Andy Dalton, Commanders should be able to score in this game, so Dalton's going to have to throw the ball to keep back up with them. So I think it may be ugly, it may be junky, but Dalton can get it done if you're desperate for a streamer in a deep league. Tyrone Tracy, we haven't mentioned him today at all. I don't think Devin Singletary's playing, or if he is, he's very limited with the groin injury still. So Tyrone Tracy looked awesome the last couple of weeks, especially catching the ball. So I think he's a great flex play or something if you got him. And then you guys talked about Ladd McConkey already. He's a guy, like I said, the Chargers just run the ball, then they throw like 8 passes a game to Ladd McConkey. So, and he usually catches a touchdown. Honestly, he's got 3 or 4 touchdowns on the year. So He's pretty safe
Love
floor
Lamb today.
play. Yeah, he's pretty safe floor there. So I like that versus Cardinals defense, which sucks. So
All right. Sorry about that. Love the Tyrone Tracy pick today. I was trying to find a way to get him into my lineup, today
Yeah.
versus the Eagles, but he's been really explosive. Got a question from Steven looking for thoughts on a running back or flex 2 spot for full PPR. Jacobs, Brown, Downs to me is banged up. Najee's going against that tough Jets defense. McConkey we love. So we're looking at McConkey in your spot for the flex. I'm going to take Chase Brown as the running back too, although I also like Josh Jacobs. I think he's due, but what do you guys think?
Yeah, I like Chase Brown and McConkey personally. Out of those options, that's what I think I go.
Yep. Adam?
Definitely Chase Brown, and
I know he likes McConkey.
Yeah, I'd probably do Chase Brown and McConkey on full PPR there. Josh Downs is kind of, Anthony Richardson's back to play, and I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
He's up and down. Najee Harris, you're not going to get much in the PPR at all there. And Josh Jacobs, man, has he even got a touchdown yet? I don't even know if he scored on the whole season. Like, he gets a ton of carries, but they throw Jordan Love those 2-yard touchdowns every time they get down there. So, I don't know. I'd probably agree with you guys, Brown and McConkey.
Yeah, good point, though. They love to pass the ball for the touchdown in Green Bay.
Yeah, I don't think Jacobs has a touchdown.
All right, so we got Zim's sleepers.
I got Alec Pierce.
He does. Yeah.
I got Alec Pierce versus the Dolphins. Anthony Richardson is back today. Go ahead and look at Anthony Pierce's numbers am I mixing players up? I don't even know what I'm saying, man. Go ahead and look at Alec Pierce's numbers when Anthony Richardson is out there. Yep. Anthony Richardson and him, they connect, man. They connect. And Richardson loves the deep ball, and that is Alec Pierce's specialty. So, yeah, I think it's a sleeper for sure. And part of the fun in these sleeper picks is if they bust out completely, it's like, well, that's why they were a sleeper. So, second, I got Detroit defensive special teams versus the Vikings.
Yeah.
Vikings got to come back down to earth sooner or later. What better week than a divisional matchup against a team that just lost their best defensive player? That's going to be angry. They're going to be flying around. Dan Campbell coaches those guys different. I'm telling you, everybody's sleeping on the Detroit defense this week, specifically because of that Aiden Hutchinson injury. I think they come out and answer and say, we're going to pick him up. We got him. And again, I have no faith whatsoever in Sam Darnold. I don't care if this guy goes out and throws 9 touchdowns and 600 yards in a game. I will still expect him to throw 4 interceptions in the next one. The guy just makes.
I agree.
And to some people, they're ballsy throws, but to me, they're just dumb throws. The guy looks like Cutler out there, and good Jay looked just as bad as bad Jay. It was just a matter of whether the balls found his team or the other team that week, and that's how I feel about Darnold. Darnold, I think, is getting away with a lot of crap right now that's not going to fly all season long, and good playoff teams don't let you get away with that stuff. And I hate to say it, but I think Detroit might be legit. I absolutely hate saying that, but we'll see what happens. Lastly, big sleeper here, big sleeper, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire versus the 49ers. He's back off an injury this week. He had some matters outside of football to take care of. He's back. Kareem Hunt has been carrying the load for Kansas City, but Kareem Hunt is not running back 1. Clyde Edwards-Helaire isn't either anymore, but he's going to get his opportunities. And whenever he's been counted on in Kansas City, he's been productive. I'm not entirely sure why he slid so far down their depth chart, and it makes me think that it's because of his off the field things that he's been dealing with. I don't think it's anything on the field with him that's problematic. And so I think that he'll come back today. He's going to get a few screen passes, catching the ball opportunities. And I think he's like a safe, like 6 to 8 points, which like we all need a guy on our roster who can do that for us, right? So I think that's where like his viability comes in, is if you're really struggling at the running back position, which I know a lot of people are, because it happens every year, because you have to play 2 running backs. And if you're in a 12-man league, I mean, there are not 32 RB1s in the league. That's all there is to it. So at any rate, I'm babbling on long enough. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a good sleeper backup secondary option for a lot of people out there.
I love it. All right. I got I think we have a question here, huh? Before I get into my sleeper stats. What have you thought of Amari today? Yeah, we did cover this. We got to hit it real quick, Adam.
This question about Amari?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we just kind of talked about this a little bit. I think I'm willing to use him because I think it's just necessity. Like Josh Allen's just been needing a wide receiver for weeks now, and I think he's finally going to have one out there. He's not going to be able to resist throwing him the ball, in my opinion, today. So, and we know Amari Cooper can have just monster game out of a little bit. You know, he doesn't take a lot for him to blow up. So, I would play him today. I know it's a little hesitant about it, but you know, I'd be willing to do it for sure if I had him.
Zim?
Yeah, as you know, the second part of this question asks, you know, about him or Jalen Waddle. And as a Tyreek Hill owner, I would probably put in Amari. The Dolphins offense just isn't working without Tua. It really isn't.
True.
Huntley is getting more comfortable a little bit at a time, but he's just not the same player. He's not the same caliber of quarterback. That's all there is to it. And when you're unsure with wide receivers of similar abilities, you know, with Amari Cooper and Jalen Waddle, they're both in extraneous situations or whatever the heck you want to call it. I can't think of exactly the term I'm looking for here. But regardless, when you have these situations, go with the safer quarterback, and the safer quarterback between the two of them is Josh Allen. So I go with Amari Cooper.
Yep.
All right. My sleepers, man. This dude is so due. I think he gets the ball today on the goal line. Talking Raheem Mostert and versus the Colts. I love Xavier Worthy today, and then I got Tyrone Tracy too. Like I said, I was trying to get him into my lineup today. Just, you know, it's hard when you have like, you know, other running backs, but you know, and Singletary coming back today. But I still think that, and Brian Daboll has even said he's earned the starting spot. All right, so we did our sleepers. We got some sits, and then I know Adam's got to get going here soon. He's got.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you mine and get out of here. Actually.
All right, what time you got to leave?
About now. I need to be at work at noon. So.
All right, Adam sits.
Yeah, I got Aaron Rodgers today. I said I like the Steelers chasing him down today.
Yep.
He might get a few touchdowns, you know, junky, but I don't think he's going to get a lot of yardage, or I think he gets sacked quite a few times. So I like that. And Jordan Mason, he's sitting on my bench this week versus the Chiefs. You just can't do anything in the run game versus the Chiefs. He's also coming off that shoulder injury, so it's kind of risky there too.
Got him too.
Yep. Yeah, I think he's going to sit my bench this week. And then we just mentioned Jalen Waddle. I'm not going to risk, you know, there's no way Tyler Huntley's going to support 2 wide receivers out there right now. So I would think coming out of bye week, Tyreek Hill's more likely to get the ball than Jalen Waddle in that. So I'm just not going to take my chances. Like Zim said, it's just risky. You want to play the least risk possible in the middle of the season here. So Jalen Waddle's on my bench with those guys. And on that note, you guys have a great day. I'm going to get out of here and get to work.
All right, I also have Jordan Mason.
Have a great day, Adam.
One of my prop bets too, Adam.
Yep.
Jordan Mason
going under on him.
Under 61.5. No way he goes over that.
They haven't given up that to anybody.
So, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Peace out, guys. Everybody, good luck
fellas.
today.
All right. I'll hit those prop pays real fast. Christian Watson over 33.5. Tony Pollard over 69.5 rushing yards. A.J. Brown, I think it's up to 70.5 though for Tony Pollard. A.J. Brown versus Man which is what he's going to be facing with the Giants.
Mhm.
The number one wide receiver versus man. He's done it also injured. He's still the number one receiver versus man coverage.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
and then Jordan Mason under. We said the Chiefs have not allowed a rusher over that. All right. So I have Zim's sits coming up here.
Yeah, I got Alan Lazard versus the Steelers. Lazard slowly, quietly been a very, very good fantasy player, and kind of had a big explosive breakout last week. And now the Jets go and trade for Devontae Adams, which is only going to push him down the depth chart. So unfortunately, I think Lazard's fantasy season might be coming to an end, unfortunately. It is what it is, man. These guys have their moments, and they fade out of the spotlight sooner or later. And I think it's time for Lazard to start stepping away. Next, I got Jameson Williams versus the Vikings. JMO's been hot this season. He really has. But the Vikings just don't give up that kind of big play. They don't give up what Jameson Williams is good at doing, which is like that big, deep, explosive, long play. So we'll see what happens there, but I don't see it this week. Vikings have been too good at preventing it. And on the other side of the field, Sam Darnold versus the Lions. I said I think that this Lions defense comes alive today, and Sam Darnold is going to be a victim of it. Now, I've said it before and I've said it again. I will always not expect anything from Sam Darnold. I'd probably be sitting him every single week if it was up to me. So, take it with a grain of salt. But again, it's a divisional matchup. I don't see Sam Darnold being made for this. He's probably going to be our next Kirk Cousins. You know what I mean? Where he looks like a world beater in those 11 a.m. games versus dog shit teams. And then you put him in prime time against a good team and he just can't do it. And I don't know if this is a prime time game or not. I think it is. But regardless, I don't see it happening for the Vikings this week. I think they get their first loss of the season. No, that's actually a noon game. Wow. That's actually kind of surprising
it's coming up,
to me.
tipping off here in 24 minutes.
I thought that was at least an afternoon game. That's insane to me that's a 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, whatever time window you're in, that it's that time, though. That's insanity.
Crazy.
Jordan I'm going to be keeping an eye on that game today.
That's going to be I'm going to have that one on watching, definitely. Great game. Jordan Mason versus Chiefs. For me, the Chiefs just don't allow 100-yard rushers or 60-yard rushers. So, plus he's got a shoulder injury, man. You have Isaac Guerrero putting up almost 100 yards last week. Why risk Jordan Mason?
Yeah.
He's definitely going to be splitting times. I'm sure you'll see Juszczyk, in the backfield.
Oh, definitely.
Passes out of the backfield for the 49ers. You'll see a lot of Isaac Guerrero. Buccaneers running backs versus the Ravens. First of all, they can't decide on a guy. They got 3 guys over there. Hard to get in a rhythm when you're rotating guys like that. The Ravens are one of the best, if not the best, defense versus the run. And then the invisible man versus the Bills. He may do better with Mason Rudolph, though. So take this with a grain of salt. But Will Levis I don't even know. Does he have a catch this year? I don't know. He doesn't have many catches. I think
guy nerfed himself going to Tennessee. He took the bag and killed his career in the process.
Yeah. I know he has 0 touchdowns. I mean, he was on my do not draft list anyways. It was like a last resort, but just didn't like where the fit for him over there. All right.
Man, I would love to go back like mid-season, end of season, and rewatch our preseason show and just see how close or how off base we were with some of these. I know we really nailed a few of these picks, like Terry McLaurin.
Was I on that show?
I'm pretty sure you were. I thought it was all 4.
I don't remember. I've done so many shows this whole.
I know, dude. You do shows 6 days a week. It's insane.
God. Yep. I do have my props. I might as well go over some of those, right?
Absolutely.
I did already. I flash them up there really quick again.
Yes.
Pollard versus the Bills. The Bills are, I think, the worst. If not the Panthers or Bills, the worst against it. Christian Watson, if he can't hit 33.5 today versus that banged up Texans secondary, I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Vegas knows better than me, but 33 and a half for Christian Watson, who averages about 16, 17 yards per catch. That's all he needs is 2 catches, really. So Tony Pollard, that line keeps climbing. AJ Brown over 66 and a half, and then Jordan Mason on the under. All right, Zim, ready to get out of here, watch some football?
Absolutely, man. Hey, give me a Dalton Kincaid
Yeah.
anytime TD score sometime today, huh?
Nice. Yeah.
How's that for a little prop teaser?
I like that. All right. I'm trying to find the outro video. Okay, I'm gonna add that thing here. Where is it? Because now you can do this thing with StreamYard where you can when you hit end stream,
Mhm.
it'll play the closing, and then play the closing video, and then end the stream. So it's really
Nice.
slick now. It's about time they did this, but I can't find where Joe has the damn thing.
He's hiding them.
And I can't see it. What the hell? It's so weird. I can't find it. Hell. Where's the close? Does he have a close?
We should.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Let me set it here. All right. Got it.
Awesome.
He just said he calls it credits. All right, my man. We're out of here. Good to see you, Steven. I will talk to you later, my man.
Absolutely, man. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy some football.
All right, brother. Bye.